My partner and I are currently watching a documentary series about old Egypt and about a lot of archaeologists that are digging to find these old things from Egypt. Like, it's a wonderful series, really interesting. And in one scene, you could see a lot of workers, like Egyptians that were helping the archaeologists to find all these things. And then, I don't know why, they were all applauding. Like, everyone was applauding, like this. And then what is one guy that applauded like this? And my partner said, "Have you seen him? He applauded like in a strange way, in such a different way." And then I began to think about, why are we doing things in a certain way? So it sounds the same. So why are we all doing like this or something like this? Why aren't we doing it like this or I don't know, just something different. We are so used to do certain things in a certain way. We do certain actions always in the same way. We behave in the same way. We do things we do not only behave in the same way like everyone else because we are used to that, because we've seen that since childhood maybe. Not only that, but we also are used to how we self are and how we think. We are used to think in a certain way. Why are we humans like that? Because for the brain, it's much easier. We like the brain likes patterns, because if we would need to think about everything consciously again and making every moment in your life, every moment of your day, new decisions, it would be really, really tiring. And you would not be able to focus on the important things, because you would need, from morning on, you would need to decide, how do I wake up now? What body part will I move first? How will I get out of bed? With the right or the left leg? Will I brush my teeth now? Will I do it in that way or in another way? And not only that, like every step, if you would need to decide every step, everything in your life from morning to evening, it would be really difficult. And that's why our brains love patterns. And that's why you do things in the same way again and again. And that's also great. Like, it really helps us. It makes life easier. But, and I always say that, and I think that's so important, is to consciously know when we are doing things in the same way. And that's the important part. And I think it's always the important part to do, to think, and to be conscious. And when you then decide to continue doing things in the same way, when you decide to think in the same way, to act in the same way, to behave in the same way, then it's fine. That's great. But at least you know what you're doing. Think about that for a moment. By the way, if you've seen the video where I talked about drinking coffee, that it's not good for me, that I have panic attacks because of coffee, I'm now more than 2 weeks without coffee. I'm really proud of myself. Good, we do things always in a same or a similar way. But now let's push that aside for a moment. I have a soul. I am a soul. You have a soul. You are a soul. Can you feel that? Can you feel it really in your whole being? Close your eyes. If it's safe. If you're driving or so, don't close your eyes. But if you're at home and you are in a safe place, close your eyes. And now just feel into your heart space. Just be there for a moment. Really, really feel your heart space. Feel that you are connected. There is something, right? Even if you have troubles at the moment, even if you're struggling, or if you're sad or angry, but if you really go with your focus into your heart center, into your heart space, you can feel that there is something more, right? You are connected, right? And yes, this connection is the connection to the divine. It's the connection to everything that is. But it's also the connection to your soul. And if you want, you can open your eyes again. And I know that if you're here watching my video, I know that you have a soul, or that you are a soul, that there is more. But during the day, during struggles, during repeating thoughts, during negative thought spirals, or even just during the day when you're working or talking with someone, you most of the time forget that you are a soul. Am I right? Like, I have that. Most of the time, if I'm just doing something, if I'm just going from A to B or working or talking with someone, I don't consciously think about that I am a soul. And what happens when you're not consciously connected to your soul? You may be doing things or behave in a certain way or think certain thoughts that are not beneficial for you. You do things that go against what you actually want, that go against what you actually are, that go against love. So I talked about that we are doing things in a habitual way, in a certain way. We are used to certain things and we're doing it the same way. We are clapping like this instead of this. And you may have already anticipated that I will ask you to do things in another way, or to at least consciously be aware of your repeating patterns, of you doing things always in the same way. You don't have to start clapping like this or start changing the way how you brush your teeth. But be aware of that you are doing it in the same way all the time. And also see it as a game. When you look around, you see all these people that are doing the same thing again and again. Like even how they greet each other, or how the first words that they use when people meet. Like usually it's the same. It's always the same. And usually with most people, at least in the same area or the same country or the same language, they use the same words. So, number one, become aware of repeating patterns, of doing things always in the same way. Second, try to break a pattern. Just try it out. Try how it feels when you do even a small thing differently. Feel that friction. Feel that it's not something that you do usually, and that's why it seems difficult. It just seems difficult. It's not actually difficult, but because you have this pathway in your brain that it's used to do a thing like A, B, C in a certain manner, in a certain way. And that's why it feels easy. It feels you're used to. But when you change something, even a bit, it feels really strange. It may feel even hard or difficult, depending what you try out. And know that this friction will get less the more you do that thing in a new way. And the third thing that I ask you to try out is to make the decision of doing something anew with the knowledge that you are a soul. That you are a soul embodied. That you are the extension of your soul, living this life to grow. How would you then act? How would you behave? How would you respond? How would you think? How would you fall asleep at night? How would you wake up in the morning? Would you do everything in the way that you are doing now? When you're angry at someone, or someone bothers you, or says something that you don't like that triggers you, how do you react now? What do you feel right now when this happens? And how would you feel? How would you react? And how would you think if you realize in that moment that you are a soul? And that the person in front of you is a soul as well. And the interesting part here is, and if you did like the first thing, becoming aware of all these patterns and doing things in the same way. And then if you did the other thing, like the second part, where you changed something slightly, like brushing your teeth differently, using another word when you greet someone, or whatever, and you felt this friction, right? If you tried it out, you will feel this friction. And now when you do the third part, and you connect with your soul, and you become aware that you are a soul, and then act upon that. And when you then act with the awareness of you being a soul in this world, you will feel a difference, because everything that you do why being conscious of your soul and deciding from your soul will have no friction. And that's the fun part, right? Everything else, when you do it, is anew. Seems like there's friction, that's difficult, that's strange. But if you do it with the knowledge of you being a soul, things go so much easier. You will feel that warmth, that knowledge of knowing you are doing the right thing. And that doesn't give you friction. It shows truth. I hope you will do this experiment because it's so interesting to see and to experiment with these things, with patterns, and knowing what is just a pattern, what am I doing always in the same way, how does it feel to do it differently, and how does it feel when I do it with my soul, is a really fun way to feel yourself, to be empowered and to be conscious of who you really are. That you are from the divine, that you are from God, that you are soul, and that we are all happy that you are here. So, today I was with my stone because I was not in the forest. It's just way too cold outside. And that's why I still wanted to connect with earth. And I did it with my little rose quartz. One of many. I have so many of these. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you do that experiment? Do you think about that? Do you feel that you're a soul? Talk with me. I just love talking to you. You know that. Thank you for being here and I see you in the next one. Bye.